this place is special. We as a family believe that. I think everyone in this community believes that. And so certainly when you get here and you see it and go all the way back to my first year hosting game day, walking out on that field against Clemson, this is different. This place is completely different than a lot of places across the country.
Welcome into TexAgs Rewind. David Nuno here. Eric Cassars at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do like Sunday. I want you to preview that we had Coach Elko on the show like it was a car show commercial. Ready, go.
Welcome back to TexAgs Radio.
No, that's an announcer.
Wrong.
No, I want like Sunday, only at the Astrodome. You can see like that kind of thing. Go.
Sunday.
But today's Wednesday. I was just giving you like the tone.
Wednesday. Brought to you
Now
in
you're
TexAgs
speeding through
Radio.
it. No. I want you. It's got to be about Elko. Go.
Mike Elko, new Texas A&M head coach for football, is joining us today on a special TexAgs Radio and also Valentine's Day. Give love to Mike Elko and also your significant other.
Elko on TexAgs Radio on this Valentine's Day special here, brought to you by Menon. Yeah, we had Coach Elko on. We had Billy Liucci on. We had Recruiting Country with Ryan Brauninger, and we had Kendall Rogers on. This guy told us he loved a bunch of people, and we did a lot of more fun stuff. It is TexAgs Rewind. Check it. At what point did the A&M job seem like a place you could eventually end up? Was it maybe as a coordinator here, like, man, I sure would love to be the coach here one day? Was it maybe when the struggles were happening? Or you were so focused on the Duke experience?
Yeah, not at all with the struggles, but obviously when you're here for 4 years, it's not hard to figure out how special a place this is. And so, my family and I really enjoyed it here. I think you guys know we turned down a lot of different things to stay here as the defensive coordinator. We were very happy here until the right time and the right situation came along for us. And that was Duke, and I'm still very thankful and appreciative for them giving me that opportunity. But this place is special. We as a family believe that. I think everyone in this community believes that. And so certainly when you get here and you see it and go all the way back to my first year hosting game day, walking out on that field against Clemson, this is different. This place is completely different than a lot of places across the country.
Describe, a lot of us watch really closely what you were doing at Duke, both out of, interest, but also just we liked you when you were here, and
Thanks, Billy.
You're welcome. But in case you were wondering, describe a Mike Elko coach football team. When you trot that field out there, the team out there on the field this year and beyond, what's a Mike Elko team going to stand for?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is an appreciation for the opportunity we have to represent Texas A&M, right? I think that's where, to me, there's a huge starting point, which is just to say, we're in the 1% of the country and are who we are, right? I say that to our kids all the time. Like, if you look around at 19-year-olds across America, you're living in the elite world, right? And so, what we do is hard. What we do is challenging. There's a lot of stress that comes along with being a high-level football player. But let's not forget, what we're really doing. And I think that's a starting point, right? And then it's, we want to be extremely tough, mentally, physically. We want to be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. We want to be very disciplined. We want to be very prepared. And we want to walk off every field saying that's the team that played the hardest, right? And if you can put those things together with some talent, with some skill, with some really good scheme concepts, you can be a really good football team.
I think he has done a terrific job roster retention, putting together his staff, and the portal, and closing out the recruiting class. I think a tremendous job on all four of those fronts, A's and A pluses across the board. Now comes the part that will, really go a long way towards determining how this team does in year one under Mike Elko, which is the heart of the off season. That's where he's setting the culture. He said they went out there yesterday, the first day, and it was Tommy Moffitt. It was the head coach. It's the coaches pushing, and we've seen some of their social media. It definitely seems like it was a very rough day over there, and kind of a rude awakening for a lot of guys, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Just I think they all probably went home yesterday going, things are a lot different here now. The expectation level is higher. The work requirement has gone up. I bet most of these guys are going to embrace that.
I think so.
They want to win.
Right.
Everybody want to
want to
win.
be the best.
They're going to have to push past that, and that's what's happening right now. They're going to have to push past the hard part, and it'll stay hard, but they'll know after that, like you just acclimate and you understand. You mentioned we're talking about Buzz, and that's what he has that boot camp for every year. This is basically a couple month. It's a month boot camp until football season, and then there'll be another one there's still spring ball, then there'll be another one this summer. This is the most important time because what Mike Elko is doing now is this is where the culture gets implemented. This is where you start to develop that. This is where Tommy Moffitt, and you start seeing the real gains physically for these football players.
One of the things he said in his introductory press conference is that there's no elevator to this thing. Like, you have to take the stairs. And so these days that he's going over there and they're running strength and conditioning workouts, and that's culture building days. So whatever happens on the field this fall, these days right now in February and March leading into spring practice might be as important as what happens when fall camp starts, right? Because you have to start rebuilding the culture here. And I've been – just the stuff that we've heard around town, been really impressed with the way he's gone about it. And I think right now, to me, I don't know, I didn't listen to all of it because I was upstairs doing some stuff. But to me, it seems like now that there's not a ton of recruiting stuff going on, and we'll get into that in just a second, but it seems like now that there's not a lot of recruiting stuff going on in terms of the calendar, I think he's really enjoying this time because it's like, all right, all that's done. I got my staff. We recruited the heck out of the 24s and ended up got it to the finish line with Terry and Ashton Bethel-Roman and Robbie Bourdon. And then I did a great –
Is it Bourdon? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Robbie. That's how he was pronouncing it in the press conference.
I know.
But then you think about the roster retention and then the work they did in the portal and just how every day, every waking hour, he had to spend on that kind of stuff and not with his team, not building his culture. So I would imagine that to him, these days are super important and they're way more fun than the days that he's had leading up to this point, just because of what the day-to-day looks like. And now he can finally start coaching football. Yeah. So I think as a football coach, you always are itching to coach football. And he understands that there's a million other things that go along with that now in this day and age of college football. But I think at his core, he wants to be out there coaching his team.
So you mentioned not a lot going on recruiting-wise. What does it look like for them across the street right now?
Yeah, I think right now it's a lot of player evaluations on the class of 2025, setting their big board at every position, and then mapping out, okay, we really like this kid.
People have been for a Jim Schlossnagle A&M team. What would you say last year?
I would say probably, last year, I think false expectations were set a little bit, or I'd say just not realistic expectations. To get to the Final Four of the college baseball and to kind of expect the same exact thing the next year, the tall order. I do think when you look at this team overall, I feel like this team has a chance to be better than the team that finished the Final Four in Omaha. And the reason why I think that is I think Max will kind of fix things a little bit on the pitching staff. I think guys like Lane can take a big step forward. I really like Tanner Jones in the fall, but where I really like this team is just the overall balance and talent from an offensive standpoint. That team a couple of years ago was good offensively, but in terms of sheer talent, I think this lineup's better. When you look at Lavalette, Braden Montgomery, you look at Grahovic in the middle. That's going to be as good of I don't know what order Schloss will have those guys in, but that's going to be as good of a trio and a lineup, maybe the best in college baseball.
Talking to Kendall Rogers here on the Brian Foley Law Hotline is TexAgs Radio. So let's kind of go through that and maybe piece by piece. What do you think? What are some of the top reasons they could be scary, scary good this year? And then we'll kind of go through what could hold them back.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when I look at A&M is I feel very good about the team offensively. I don't look at this offense and go, there's any question marks. The thing is, if I mentioned those three guys, I think Ryan Targac is a kid that's going to bounce back this year. A lot of people don't realize outside of A&M. That he dealt with that was the foot injury last year. That really set him back. Ted Burton. Nobody's really talked about that transfer, but you're talking about a guy who's had a ton of at bats in his collegiate career. Had a really solid season at Michigan last year. Getting him in the mix, and Hayden Schott, another senior, getting him in that starting lineup. So what I really like about this team offensively is you've got those big power guys.
All right, Casares, in that car voice, tell the people what to do.
Like and subscribe, rate, share with your friends, and best of all,
how come you can't stay in character?
I can't do that. You killed it. You just took all my spotlight away.
I'm amazing at what I do, yes, but this is a training ground for you to be a wrestling announcer. Go.
Okay. Like and subscribe, rate, share with your friends.
You're asking for soup, and hey, Mom, can I get some soup? Like, give me a little anger.
Like and subscribe, share with your friends.
Share. It's the worst. If you liked it, let me know though. Bye.